the way from London this evening. Thank you very much for your presence here this evening. It gives me immense pleasure to also welcome Her Excellency Muhtarama Benazir Bhutto, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan. She was the first woman who was elected to lead a Muslim country in the Muslim world. Thank you very much for joining us. The World Forum is an organization that is committed to world peace. The recent events in Iraq and Lebanon and the ongoing problems in Palestine and the emerging situation in Iran are of concern to everybody. The challenges facing the international community today are rather complex. The World Forum was set up as a platform that enables discussions like this to take place. We believe that only through dialogue based on mutual respect, humanity, and compassion can we resolve our differences and take a small step towards world peace. The World Forum was set up under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Deputy Ruler of Dubai and the UAE Minister for Finance and Industry. We will start this evening's discussion with Simon Burns. He's been a member of British Parliament for over 20 years, has been a minister, has also served as an opposition minister, as well as currently is a foreign affairs whip with the Conservative shadow government. Simon Burns, MP.
In Iran, where the government's refusal to suspend the nuclear program is raising tensions in the region and increasing the risk of proliferation of weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East, and its efforts to dismantle terrorist networks, since despite a number of successes targeting the leadership and the infrastructure of Al-Qaeda, the danger of international terrorism, whether from Al-Qaeda or other related groups, has not diminished and may well have increased. In addition, a new atmosphere of suspicion and resentment and of lesser understanding between the East and the West has grown up around these events.
We are also delighted to welcome here His Excellency the Indian Ambassador Chandra Mohan Bhandari Sahab. Thank you very much for coming. John Hawkins is here from the British Consulate, Consul General, and also American and German consuls are represented. Thank you for coming as well. Our next speaker today is Prime Minister Tony Blair's Special Envoy on Interfaith Matters. John Battle, MP, has been a Member of Parliament for more than 20 years, too, a senior Labour politician. He's also been a Foreign Office Minister and carries with him a lot of experience in diplomacy. John Battle, MP.
Can I thank you for inviting me to come here and to say that my job is not to set out new policy options or to offer you a great vision for the world. My job in Britain has been to go around local communities, speaking and listening to them to see what we can do to turn our own society into neighbourhoods of people who work together. And I come here for the first time to actually learn and listen of what Dubai is doing. And I want to, as it were, say that my job is not to give great policy statements on behalf of the government, but to be an extra pair of eyes and ears, quietly, for the Prime Minister, and to report back to the Prime Minister what I find in my travels locally and internationally. So I'll try in the next few minutes to give you a flavour of the report back that I will be handing to our Prime Minister, Tony Blair, next week when I go back to London.
And I'm delighted to welcome here as our speaker, Lord Richard Harris.
I've had the good fortune to have been engaged in interfaith dialogue for about the last 30 years, and when I became Bishop of Oxford some 20 years ago, I started something called the Oxford Abrahamic Group, which brought together Jewish, Christian and Muslim theologians for regular meetings on the issues that we have in common and which divide us, and that group, I'm glad to say, is still going strong. More recently, I've had the pleasure and privilege of working with Lord Ahmed in the House of Lords to form a new all-party parliamentary interfaith group in order to try to help members of Parliament understand better the religious dimension to public policy issues.
प्रोग्राम का बाकी हिस्सा मुख्तसर वक्फे के बाद मुलाहिजा कीजिए।
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening, Assalamu alaikum. Let me begin by thanking the World Forum for organizing this conference and also thanking His Highness Sheikh Hamdan for his patronage and his support. I also want to thank Sheikh Abdur and also Muhammad Ali and all the helpers and organizers. But I just want you to be a little generous to Javed Malik for organizing this conference and say thank you to him. Make peace a new world order through dialogue and understanding between cultures and civilizations, through mutual understanding and better relations, through shared values and faith traditions, coexistence of people with mutual tolerance, respect, justice, equality, humanity, and family values. Everything that you know that happens in Dubai. When I came here 2 days ago, I told someone that in London we have 270 languages that are spoken, 13 major religions of the world in London. Before 7/7, we used to claim that it is the most diverse and the most peaceful city in the world. Today, Dubai can claim that you not only have a peaceful city with diversity, but you have more people represented here than even the United Nations. And it's a pride that Dubai has. I'm proud to be sharing this platform with my colleagues from British Parliament who also share the very concepts that I mentioned. But I believe that peace can only come with justice. Without illegal occupations, without violation of minority rights, without perceived injustices, peace cannot come without rule of law, without respect of international law and due process of law. UN cannot be selective in implementing its resolutions, whether they are Chapter 7 or Chapter 6. Democracy, accountability, and transparency not only has to be at local level, at national level, but it's important that we have it at the United Nations level too, and in the Security Council, where people need to be represented. A few days ago, I received an email from a young man who was carrying a placard in Toronto demonstrating against the war in Iraq. His placard read, "I'm a Muslim. Kill me and call it collateral damage. Imprison me and call it security measures. Exile my people en masse and call it New Middle East. Rob my resources, invade my land, alter my leadership, and call it democracy." It is these type of perceptions, or is it reality? Why do young people actually believe that this is the truth? US has vetoed almost every resolution in the Security Council in relation to Israel. Security Council is silent over massacres of Jenin and in Gaza, even abduction of parliamentarians from the West Bank who are Palestinians. American massacre in Fallujah, who would ever investigate that? Who would ever speak about Abu Ghraib and the disgrace that still exists and the Guantanamo Bay